back again. We just did our Zoom call. That was a lot of fun. So, and now we're going to move on to our comprehension work in our reading. So we are going to be reading Fast Learner. So you can pause the video and go ahead and grab your story, Fast Learner. Alright, now that you have your reading passage, our genre is fantasy. So this is a made-up story that could not be real. Our title, Fast Learner, and we have our author right here, by Julie Barnes. So we're going to start at paragraph 1, and please make sure that you are reading with me and you are tracking, okay? So we're going to read this together. Paragraph 1, Thunder had a serious problem. He couldn't seem to train his owner. Penny, though he knew she was trying hard. His friend Pepper gave him a book called How to Train Your Owner. She said she'd found it very useful with her own girl. The first chapter looked helpful. How to walk your person? Now let's go back to paragraph 1. We're going to ask and answer questions. So in the story, Thunder has a problem. Well, what is Thunder's problem? It says he couldn't seem to train his owner. Although his owner Penny, it says he knew she was trying hard, so she's trying, but it's really hard for him to train his owner. Let's go to paragraph 2. Let's read this together. That night, Thunder brought Penny his leash, which meant that it was time for their daily walk. As usual, though, Penny walked much too fast, leaving Thunder no time to search for good smells. Well, Thunder wants to stop and look for good smells, but Penny is walking much too fast. Let's move on to paragraph 3. So Thunder did what the book told him to do. First, he sat down and he dug in his paws. Penny stopped. Then Thunder stood up and started walking by her side. He walked at a nice, slow pace. Remember, he wants to smell those good smells. And he's trying to train his owner. Yes. Okay, what's his owner's name, guys? What's his owner's name? Penny. Yes, you are right. So we have Thunder and Penny. Thunder is the dog, and Penny is the owner. Yes. Paragraph 4. Penny soon was walking ahead again, so Thunder repeated what he had learned. This time, it worked! Penny walked slowly at Thunder's side. Good girl, thought Thunder, rewarding her with a tail wag. In paragraph 5. It took Thunder 3 weeks to finish the book. After a lot of practice, Thunder had a well-trained owner. So in this story, it's kind of funny because the owner, Penny, is she training Thunder? No, it's completely reversed. It's a fantasy. The dog is taking on the human role, and the dog, Thunder, is now training his owner, Penny. Okay? If you need to go back and reread, feel free to go back and reread the story for better comprehension. Rereading is a great strategy to use, so you can pause, reread. And we have these close reader habits also where you can go back to the text and annotate if you need to. How do the picture and words help you understand that this story is fantasy? Circle something in the picture and underline the sentences that show this is fantasy. So go ahead, go back to the text, circle something in the picture that's fantasy, and then underline something in the story that's fantasy. That could not really happen. Okay, you can pause and go through your text and do that, and then we'll move on. So now we have our question set that goes with the story. This is your question set that is in your packet. Alright, looks like this. Take a minute, make sure you have the right one, go ahead and find it. Okay? This part we're really going to think. We're going to analyze our story, we're going to go back to our text, we're going to reread for those good reader habits and good reader strategies. Number 1, what is Thunder's problem? Elsa, did you guys notice that that is a possessive noun? Whose problem? Thunder's problem. So we have that apostrophe S to show possession. It's a possessive noun. Way to go. But I knew you already called that ahead of me, okay? What's Thunder's problem? I know we talked about that. We went back and we asked and answered questions in a certain paragraph. A, his person doesn't want to be trained. B, he doesn't like going on walks. Well, I know he likes good smells when he goes for a walk. C, his friend Pepper didn't want to help him. Who did he get the book from? D, his person was hard to teach. So if we go back to paragraph 1 where we asked and answered questions, it tells us right here, he couldn't seem to train his owner. So this is tough for him. This is hard. Penny was the owner. Though he knew she was trying hard, so she's trying hard. So if she's trying hard, is it A, where his person doesn't want to be trained? Was that true? He says she's trying hard, so that can't be true. What about B, he doesn't like going on walks? Well, we read right here in paragraph 2 that he likes to smell good smells, and she walks too fast. He wants to slow her down on his walks. So he does like to go for walks. And C, his friend Pepper didn't want to help him. Well, we know just by looking at the picture, Thunder got a book, and we know he got a book from his friend. His friend Pepper let him borrow that book to help him train his owner. And then D, his person was hard to teach. So we're going to go with that one because she's trying her best, but he's still having a difficult time training her. So he has to keep trying and keep trying. And then finally, after 3 weeks at the end of the story and lots of practice, he has a well-trained owner, who is Penny. Number two, what part of the story is the picture showing? We always go back to the text, especially when they refer to the text. We look at the picture. A, how Thunder learns to train Penny. Is he learning to train her? The problem Thunder was having with Penny. Well, does it show Penny in the picture or illustration? Let's think about that. C, how Penny and Thunder looked after training. I don't see Penny in the picture. I just see Thunder. D, how Thunder rewarded Penny. Does it say that? Does it show how he's rewarding Penny? Because I know he was rewarding her with a tail wag, and I don't see him wagging his tail. So he's reading a book, and the book's title is How to Train Your Owner in 30 Days. So we know when we go back to our answers, he's learning about how it's showing us how Thunder is going to learn to train Penny. Okay, awesome job. You are working so hard. You are amazing. Give yourself a 10-finger woo. Woo! Tell me, say, I'm awesome. Yes, you are. Okay, we are moving on to our next section, and this is number 2. Oh, I'm sorry, say, it's cool. This is number 3. So this is where we talk. This is where we would talk in class and have those buddy conversations. But we're going to do this kind of with a family member or with each other right now. Look closely at the picture again. What details in the picture help make this story funny? So when we look really closely at this illustration, what details help make this story funny? Well, when I'm looking at this and I'm looking at all of these books, it's Bone Soup, The Magic Fire Hydrant, Fetch 22, and I look what he's reading, How to Train Your Owner in 30 Days. Well, that's kind of silly, that's kind of funny because the owner usually trains the dog and the dog doesn't train the owner. So that's kind of silly, okay? So that's what they're talking about right there. And then we would move to number 4 on this page again. And it says, this is where we would write a short response. what is funny about the training that goes on in this story? So what they're asking you is, what's happening in this story that makes it fantasy that would not really happen? What is Thunder trying to do? What is he trying to do in this story? It's kind of silly, right? So what is funny about the training that goes on in this story? We're going to explain our answer on page 359. Page 359, where it says fast learner. So that's on the back of this page where it's the story Gudong is coming. You just flip it over, and this is where your short response is. This is page number 359. Okay? And this is where we write our short response. They give us a hint. What can Thunder and Pepper do that real dogs can't? Remember, Pepper is the character that let Thunder borrow her book. Let's see, let me go back to the story. And I want to make sure that Pepper is a girl, right? I'm using the right pronoun if I'm using she or her. However, it does go in the story if I go back, and it says, she said she'd found it very useful with her own girl. So that's how I know Pepper is a girl, because she had trained her own girl. Okay, so we go back and we double check when I'm deciding if it's a boy or girl, what pronoun I'm using. So in this one, I want you guys to respond to the question in a paragraph. I want you to give me examples from the text. Tell me what is funny about the training that goes on in the story, and tell me, why is that funny? What's going on in the story? Give me some details that are happening in the story, why it's funny. So what is Thunder trying to do? Why is Thunder having a hard time? What does Thunder start to do to solve his problem? And then what happens at the end? So if we use all of those ideas, you guys are going to complete a whole paragraph. Remember, we indent at the beginning of a paragraph. You guys are going to use uppercase letters at the beginning of sentences, fingers spacing between words, and ending punctuation at the end of a sentence. If you're asking a question, use a question mark. If you're making a statement, use a period. If it's exclamatory, if you're excited, use an exclamation mark. All right? And then at the end, you can check your writing and complete your checkoff list to make sure that you've checked and you've gone through your writing. Okay? So this is your reading for today, or whenever the soonest available time is that you can do it with your family. That is okay. I know we are all working together in this, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow for our next Zoom call. I appreciate all your hard work. You're amazing. You're awesome. And I can't wait to see you guys again. All right, awesome.